Hey Frag fam, what is going on? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here and welcome back to the Fragrance Well. Sorry for the long break in between videos. Last week was a crazy busy week. It's been a while since I've been so busy that I could not do any videos. I hated that, but it is what it is. I am back now, so we're gonna go ahead and get back into it. Matter of fact, speaking of last week, let's go ahead and do another weekly fragrance rotation. May have been a busy week. There may have been instances during the week where I really didn't care what my scent of the day was because I was just too tired to care. But even so, I had some good fragrance wears last week. I intentionally focused on fragrances that I would consider fall fragrances. So that is going to be the theme with all of the fragrances for the previous week, even if the temperatures didn't always match that. Here in Florida, it still would be considered summertime for the most part, but it has started to cool down, so that is a good sign. And we've even had some nice cool evenings here and there. So we got 6 fragrances for the week. There was one day where I did not wear a scent and a couple of double wears, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and also please hit that bell icon, enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And I will have links to the fragrances down in the description below if they are available. Let's get into it. All right, so for Sunday, that was an ode to nothing day. I did not wear anything that day, so let's go ahead and just skip on to Monday, and that's coming from Filippo Sorcinelli. It is Opus 1144. Filippo Sorcinelli, Opus 1144. If you've been watching my channel recently, this is one I've been, giving a lot of high marks to as a discovery, maybe 2 months ago at this point. This is basically a spicy, powdery fragrance. There is a little bit of an ambery warmth to this scent that I am noticing a lot more. The more I wear it, the more I spray the bottle, and it has a chance to macerate a little bit more. It's a little bit warmer than I originally experienced. But yeah, it's still a fragrance just full of just kind of this powdery, dusty spiciness with an earthy, resinous feel to it. But as I stated just a moment ago, yeah, a little bit more of a warm, ambery feel to it also. It's a powerful fragrance. What did I do Monday? Monday was a day of, pretty much a work day. I had to work at one site, got there ridiculously early. Matter of fact, I had to get up about 3 a.m. to get to that work site on time, and worked all the way into the mid to late afternoon. So it was a very long day, but this fragrance was on my skin the entire time, and that's with about 4 sprays. I detected it all the way until the end of the day. So that's just a characteristic of this scent for people who really like long longevity out of a fragrance, or maybe just want something that can give them that. I think this fragrance has that. It's interesting, it's intoxicating to me. I wouldn't say it's for everybody, so if you can't get your hands on the scent from a store or something like that, definitely try to get a sample of it. But it's not challenging in my opinion. I think maybe some people just wouldn't find it that interesting. But I love the fragrance. So once again, from Filippo Sorcinelli, this is Opus 1144. All right, so for Tuesday, another work day where I had to do my day job and had to go play drums somewhere. So we got a fragrance for basically both of those events. So 2 scent of the days, or scent of the day, scent of the evening for Tuesday. So the scent of the day is coming from Amouage. This is King Blue. Amouage King Blue. So this fragrance here is an oud fragrance that is wrapped in a package that many might consider, I hate to say blue fragrance because it doesn't really smell like a blue fragrance, but let's just say a very palatable style of woody, ambery, spicy fragrance. There's some fruitiness in this scent, kind of a tart berry-like fruitiness, a touch of leather in there, really warm, woody, ambery base to the scent, notes like patchouli and sandalwood, which is a combination I really enjoy in here. But the oud is a little bit barnyard, hay-like, earthy, so to speak, so it can be maybe a little bit challenging for some people, but I adore the fragrance. It was a love at first sniff, as I often say when I talk about this fragrance. But yeah, I just wanted to wear this to work for that day. This is one of those scents that most people wouldn't think of as a work scent, but you just kind of need to dictate the sprays. You don't want to spray this 20 times. I wouldn't say you need to spray this 20 times anyway. But another good thing about this fragrance is it's not like a reach across the room and slap you in the nose kind of scent. It doesn't sit close to the skin, but it's more of a personal space scent, maybe a really good sillage type of fragrance here. So I really didn't feel like I was going to be overbearing with the scent choice at my place of work for that day. And also, of course, as I already stated, I didn't go crazy with the sprays, but I really enjoy this fragrance and I just wanted to wear it for this particular day. So once again, from Amouage, this is King Blue. All right, so Tuesday scent of the evening, and again, I had to play drums at my typical long evening gig that is outdoors for this. So we went with Jean-Paul Gaultier's Mâle Elixir. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Mâle Elixir. If you don't know it by now, it's basically the Mâle DNA, or at least a part of it, particularly the mint and the lavender kind of highlighted here, mixing with some really rich, ambery, tonka heavy, benzoin heavy warmth, so to speak. It's a very rich interpretation of the original Mâle DNA that's not like the super sweet date night club scent offshoot that is Ultra Mâle. And also, I don't know what the newer one is. It Elixir Absolute, whatever the new one is. The latest one I haven't gotten my nose on that yet, so I don't know what they did differently with that one, if anything. You know, often these flankers can sometimes just be very literal repeats with like one thing that's different. So I don't know anything about that scent, but that being said, I'm a fan of the original Mâle DNA, and I like the flankers that sit a little bit closer to that more so than the many other styles of flankers of Mâle fragrances out there. But yeah, this one kind of works well for that. It's a scent that kind of has some staying power. So outside sweating, which it actually wasn't too bad temperature wise that night, but you get my point. Outside, active, sweating. This is a scent that tends to stick around and last through that. So once again, from Jean-Paul Gaultier, this is Mâle Elixir. All right, so the next one is going to be the scent of the day for Wednesday and Thursday, and this one's coming from Memo Paris. It is African Leather. Memo Paris, African Leather. If you know Memo Paris, you at least know this scent, I would imagine. So the famous cardamom-rich, spicy cardamom, cinnamon style, spicy fragrance that features woody notes, ambery notes. In my opinion, a lighter leather, or at least not as noticeable leather, blended around a really nice rich rose for the most part. So yeah, this one here, I can still kind of see why it's one of the more popular ones from Memo Paris. It's another scent I think many would certainly consider a fall type fragrance. I certainly do. And I just wanted to give it some wear, even if it's not full blown fall here right now. What did I do Wednesday? Wednesday was a work day. It was a long work day that got a later start, but still ended up being a longer day. And the only reason it is the scent of the day for Thursday as well is I ended up having to make a unplanned trip to another work site to take care of something early Thursday morning. And I had this and King Blue with me. I just chose to go with this one again. And I actually had to play drums for the same reason that Thursday evening as well. And I just sprayed more of this on later on in the day. So this was the scent for Wednesday and Thursday. Once again, from Memo Paris, this is African Leather. All right, so Friday's scent of the day is a new one to the collection coming from Get Right Fragrances. This is Berry Oud. Get Right Fragrances, Berry Oud. Now, I did get sent a sample of this fragrance from the brand, but I actually bought this bottle. This was a really good release from the house. They've got some good fragrances here, but I feel like this one is the one where they're really trying to kind of get their elbows out, so to speak, in the vast world of fragrances, particularly as a smaller independent fragrance house. But this one is really good release, and like perfect for this time of year. So well-timed release, in my opinion, as well. The name here is actually pretty good, pretty accurate. It pretty much tells you what you're getting here. You definitely get some berry-like fruitiness. I do notice a difference from the bottle, from the sample, so I'll quickly go over that. The fruitiness here is a little bit tart and kind of like that strawberry feel to it. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if there's like orange citrus notes in here, but it reminds me of like orange juice blended with like strawberries or other berries like that. That's what it kind of smells like to me. I even get, I think, a little bit of a slight creaminess here. I don't know if there's any cashmerean like notes or something like that in here. Oud in here would definitely be considered the more wearable, palatable type of oud. It's also just kind of woody overall. There's a good amount of tonka that really becomes apparent as the fragrance kind of just settles down and some of that tartness goes away, and that there's a little bit of a sprinkling of spice in here to my nose as well. But this is an excellent fall scent. It's one that I definitely want to give a number of wears in the upcoming season. What did I do on Friday? I had another drum playing gig to get to, but this one was a little bit later in the evening. For most of the day, I was able to kind of just chill out a little bit. So this is technically a scent of the evening, but it is the only thing I wore for that day. So once again, from Get Right Fragrances, this is Berry Oud. All right, and the final fragrance for the week, which is going to be Saturday, which happens to be today, is coming from Electimus, and this is going to be Aquila Absolute. Electimus Aquila Absolute. As I've stated, it's been getting cooler in the evenings, and that is ultimately when I'm actually going to wear this. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna spray a little bit on right now. Why not? Give me, just one little one on the wrist, because this fragrance here has a little bit of push. I don't want to choke out everyone in the house. But this one is a very cardamom heavy, kind of raspberry smoky leather scent. So kind of sounds like it's an offshoot of Tuscan leather. I think that is fair, but it's not like a clone of it. I would say even the inspiration from it is really just the fact that it has a raspberry note and it's leathery. That's it. It doesn't really smell like Tuscan leather to me, but obviously a really good option for fall, if you will. And what am I doing this evening? I'm going to be playing drums again. I told you this was a long week. It's almost over with. I'm going to be playing drums again at a restaurant bar environment where the food smells are pretty strong. So I actually want a fragrance that can kind of cut through some of that, because otherwise you just kind of get enveloped with all the other smells there. Because of the brash, spicy smokiness of this scent, it can definitely cut through some of those competing smells. That's why I went ahead and chose to go with this one to kind of round out my week of wearing fall specific fragrances, in my opinion. So once again, from Electimus, this is Aquila Absolute. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you would like to, let me know down in the comments below what your weekly fragrance rotation was, and feel free to share a little bit of extra details if you had an interesting encounter or interaction with your fragrance choices. I didn't really have anything interesting this week. I just kind of enjoyed the fragrances I wore. I was too busy to really have a whole lot of interactions this week, or too tired to care, but it is what it is. So thanks again for watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.